Hi, this is Jeff with Cloud NC, and today I'm going to walk you through the release of 1.4 of Cam Assist for Mastercam. So I've got a part on screen here, and I want to machine this in two ops, and I need to have some soft jaws to hold this for op 2. So I want to do this side here for op 1, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I need to hold it, and I've got these curves and things, so this would be a great opportunity to use some soft jaws. So I could make them manually, but why don't I use a tool that's available now in Cam Assist? So I'm going to come to op 2 in my view, and then pick the soft jaw designer. So this is quite simple. All I have to do is pick the part. I could pick my jaws. I don't have any defined yet, so I'm going to use the soft jaw designer in this case to make them. I'll pick the spindle direction from the top. So this is the orthogonal direction that I'm going to use. And then for my jaw opening, I want to open it along this plane here. I'm going to give my jaw geometry a little more material. So I'm going to say 10 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches. My gap is going to be 1 inch. And then I'm going to have the position at 3/8. And for this corner relief drill size, I'll leave that at the default. And then I'll give it a bit of clearance so that I can fit the part into the jaw without having to hammer it in and potentially deform it. And I'll turn on interlock and multi-level. And I'm going to hit run. So in this case, I've got some jaws created here, and it's still calculating. It's a good sign when the part turns red in the soft jaw designer. So I actually have got some jaws created there. So if I turn off my part, there are my jaws. And now I can have that for my op 2. Let's save that. Now let's look at some of the new features in Cam Assist itself. So if I open up Cam Assist, I'm going to get a notification here saying that I'm running an outdated version. I'm actually running a version ahead of the current release, but it's looking and matching for discrepancy between what's available and what I have. And it's saying that I've got that. I'm going to ignore it in this case. But you can see here, this is what you'd see in Cam Assist, that there's a new version available. This will be coming out for all subsequent releases now. When we have a new update, you'll be able to see that right in the UI. I'm just going to close that up for now. In this case, I'm going to run with two tool libraries just to show that functionality in case you missed it on the last release. So I'll turn on the inch and metric tools that we have in the Cam Assist download. So those are in public documents, shared Mastercam, mill, tools. And I've got the metric. I'll turn on the inch as well. So I'll add the metric one back on. So hit the plus sign and metric. I actually meant to hit the plus sign the first time. So now I've got two tool libraries there. If I look at the tool use tab, now this drop down acts as a twiddle or a toggle between those two libraries. So you can see the update in the table beneath. It takes time to process those. And then the other new feature that we have on here is on the cutting parameters section, where I have this slider. So this slider is the same control that we have within the Cutting Parameters Explorer now, the main slider between tool life and productivity. Now we've surfaced it right at the Cam Assist level, so this will be applied to all toolpaths calculated. So I can say when I'm using the cutting parameters or the second option here, I can determine if I want to be more productive or preserve my tool life or right in the middle. And this control will go away if you have the first option selected, because in this case, you're only using presets. So we don't override the preset in this case. This is to control the behavior of the cutting parameters. So if I'm going to calculate this part, let's say it's going to be in aluminum, and I'll say it's 7075, and I want to be a little bit on the productive side, I can move that slider, and then when I process that file, those parameters will come into effect for the cutting parameters that are generated. I'll just check this through quickly. There's nothing on here that's out of the ordinary. And then on my op2, I made those jaws. Let's implement them through the avoidance geometry. And then, so I'm just treating the part as if it were held into a vise that's not shown here in the first place. So we'll hit run, and then, as my colleague says, through the magic of video ahead, we'll skip it. Through the magic of video, we will skip ahead and rejoin this once it's been calculated. Okay, now that the toolpath is nearly finished processing, I'm getting a message here saying, would I like to see a cycle time estimate for this report? So now that we've got cycle time estimates happening in the CAM Assist file, you don't have to just use the cycle time estimator bulk operation. You can actually run an estimate report as part of your normal CAM Assist operation. I'll hit yes here. The one caveat there is that it will ask me to it will generate the toolpath calculation in Mastercam. It will generate the toolpath. So we'll skip ahead in the video a little bit more here and see our results from there. Okay, so now we've finished our calculation in Mastercam, and I've got a message here saying that the cycle time estimator has detected one part, 91 operations, machining 288 of 314 surfaces. I'll hit OK there. And this will open up in the Cloud and C cycle time estimator now. So I can see my part volume here, and I can see my machine group 1 and machine group 2 time for a total of 49 minutes, each side 25 minutes and 23 minutes. So then I can take that and export it out. I'll also point out that we've got the number 7 here, and I just ran this part individually, but what the cycle time estimator does is it creates a queue of the parts. So if I want to batch process things one by one and set up those parameters, I can have them in my cycle time estimator. This works from both the cycle time estimator bulk operation and individually. I could also clear off those parts that I don't want to have in the list. And they are now, as of this release, listed in order, descending order from the newest to the oldest. So you can see that the times are here with the runtime for those parts that we ran through the estimator before. I'm going to close the estimator now and review some of the updates to the toolpaths themselves. So let that run a bit. And first of all, in roughing, we have made a slight change to the roughing output in terms of the operation microlift distance. So if we look at the parameters here, and I come to cut parameter, actually it's a linking parameter. We now implement a microlift distance to help reduce the time traveled for linking moves. And then in drilling, we find a drilling operation. There it is on the part. Now we've got, under the linking parameters as well, we are using a different retract strategy to help reduce the amount of travel on drilling moves. So now it will be closer to the surface rather than at the top of stock. There are quite a few features in this release, and one of them that I missed in the estimator, if we go back there. So I can open up that last estimate that I just ran in the cycle time estimator view. So if we looked at that one, let's just look at our part in isolation. So I'll get rid of these previous examples. All right, and then on the export tab, we've also added the setup time. So if I know I have to do soft jaws on this part and set it up, let's just give it a time of 500 seconds, and that'll be added on to our estimate time when we process that. So if I say I need 10 of these, I will export that out. It's going to go into this folder, which I will decide, let's put on my desktop. And then if I open up the desktop and look at that folder, Here's our setup time being reflected, and our total machining time showing 49 minutes for 1, 9 hours and 37 minutes for the 10. One additional feature that we've got in the Cycle Time Estimator's view is that we have now brought in the multiple tool libraries in here as well. So you can see my metric and inch tool library have been reflected. And if I want to estimate with up to 5 libraries, I can do that using the controls here. And you can see also that the cycle time estimates is carrying over and it's persistent between the cycle time estimator view and when you open it up through your Cam Assist files. So there are plenty of other little minor bug fixes and improvements that have been introduced with release of 1.4. We encourage you to check out the documentation page to find out more information. And stay tuned for more updates on our next release of Cam Assist for Mastercam. Thanks for your time today.